Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. Last week, I asked you to make a choice, and it was all about pie. Did you miss it? Well, that's why you have to set your DVR, but that's a different story. Tonight, I ask you, how do you define a radical? What is an extremist? How do progressives define radicals and extremists? Two different definitions and two very different paths. This November, you, America, need to make a choice. Tonight, I'm going to ask you to make that choice. Come on, let's go. Well, hello, America. The New York Times is reporting, apparently, I don't read it, the president is now looking at his economic advisors, and they are, quote, looking for ways to help Democrats alter the course of the midterm elections. Wow, that sounds presidential. Quite honestly, that's a job you don't really want to have. I mean, every single gigantic spending measure Obama and the Democrats have thrown into the economy have failed spectacularly, and it is now their job to give a reason why you should give them another crack at it. You know, when your best and really only talking point for the last couple of years is, it's George Bush's fault, you've got some problems. But here's the good news. If you can just make it to the election, it's great, because you're going to transition, mark my words, they will transition from it's George Bush's fault to it's the Republicans' fault, this do-nothing Congress that, here it comes. All they have to do is make it to November, and their slogan is already written for them. Anyway, the Times says the other option Obama is considering is an attack on the Tea Parties that would attempt to paint them as radical and then tie the Tea Parties to the GOP. The implication is, of course, that you can't vote for the GOP. They're in bed with crazy people. Right. Again, with the crazy Tea Partiers. What is it that the Tea Partiers believe in exactly? Let's be very clear. Smaller government, lower taxes, less spending, more individual choice. Stop spending America into oblivion. Be honorable, decent human beings. That's what I hear. But now I'm going to play the tape from these crazy nut jobs. Watch.
I definitely want people to be filled with real hope, and conviction that anything is possible in America. If we just know who we are and believe in each other, it's the people, and really it's not the government. It's what has made us exceptional. Just remembering what brought us here.
Feel the hate. I mean, I miss the crazy hate, angry part in that, but there was only one clip. I'm sure he went off the deep end after that. Look, here's just a note, just an FYI to Washington. It doesn't work. I mean, you can call the Tea Party extreme all you want, but the pictures tell a different story, and America knows. By the way, we have had such an incredible response from people sending in their photos. We asked you last week. We're putting together an 828 photo book. Please send us more photos, and you can find details on this book at glennbeck.com/books. All the details are there. But here's some of the pictures. I mean, does this look crazy to you? I mean, if that looks crazy to you, well, then there's a good chance that Marxist candidate running against Christine O'Donnell in Delaware is looking pretty good. You're like, I don't know, the Marxist is looking pretty good. Now, the latest on this is that the White House has responded to say this story is 100% true. So why am I reporting it? Well, because I'm between a rock and a hard place. I mean, do I believe the Obama administration or the New York Times? Can I get a lifeline on this one, please?
This initiative is funded by the high end. We call it AstroTurf.
Those of you who are watching certain news channels that, on which I'm not very popular, and you see folks waving tea bags around.
The last time I had to confront something like this was when I voted for the Civil Rights Bill and my opponent voted against it. At that time, we had a lot of Ku Klux Klan folks and white supremacists and folks in white sheets and other things running around causing trouble.
They were very happy to have the crazies getting out there doing Hitler stuff and et cetera. But I think the problem is they don't have good arguments. When people make ridiculous arguments against something, it's because that's all they got.
That's a poster from a Democratic rally this weekend. So, Barney, I think you're probably right. All right. So I think we're going to go with Times. The Obama administration, has been pretty clear on how they view the Tea Parties. Now it's just whether they think it will actually help them. A radical fringe element, very, very dangerous. That's what Obama believes the Tea Parties are. Well, let's start here tonight. Let's start with a definition of radical. And this is not, we're not trudging old ground. I know it seems this way, but it is actually going someplace. Marked by a considerable departure from the usual or traditional. Extreme. To make extreme changes in existing views, habits, conditions, or institutions. Now, which one is the radical group? The one that says, let's go with the Constitution, or the one who says, really, I don't have to go through the Senate? Which one? You saw the crazy clips of the Tea Parties in the 828 crowd. Yeah, they want smaller government. They want to talk to their imaginary, friend in the sky. But what about these people? What do these people believe? Isn't it interesting that we're talking about radicals in the Tea Party, but we're not talking about these actual 1960s radicals? Here's what they have done. Here's the tree of revolution. We've shown this to you over the last year or so. They're actual revolutionary, let's change America through a revolution kind of guy. Now, here's what they've done now that they've gone legitimate and they have become the power in Washington. Here's what they've done. They've done all kinds of great little things here. They've passed an $800+ billion bill, 2,000 pages, that nobody who voted on it even read it. And it was written by leftist radicals from the Apollo Alliance. The Apollo Alliance. Can I ask you something? Did you elect John Podesta? Did you elect Wade Rathke? Because I didn't. How about Jeff Jones? Did you elect him? Do you even know who he is? He's a Weather Underground guy. Did you elect him? Because he was part of the Apollo Alliance, spending your money. Okay. They also had no problem using deem and pass to pass a $1 trillion health care bill. Another 2,500-page bill that nobody read. You voted on it. Obama said he wasn't concerned about the procedural rules. What is this? A departure from the usual or traditional. Radical. You see? Nancy Pelosi told us we have to vote for the bill to find out what's inside. Is that usual? Or is that radical? You decide. We had multiple people praise Mao Zedong. I've never seen that before. He was a murderer in China, mass murderer. Countless in the administration have openly said that they're anti-free market. That's not usual. Obama has traveled to other countries for the express purpose of slamming America, calling us arrogant, highlighting our mistakes, going on an apology tour. I've never seen that happen before. They circumvented the system when they didn't have the political will to pass cap and trade. The EPA just took the first step and said, yep, it's dangerous, and we're going to go ahead and regulate it. Then the administration was set to use the National Endowment for the Arts to promote art propaganda, the president's health care plan and other items, all set to do that. They banned deep water drilling, although a judge overturned the ban, then they reimposed the ban, even though it's killing jobs in the Gulf. And while it's killing jobs in the Gulf, we're giving tons of money to Mexico and Brazil, in Mexico's case, to drill in the place where we said no more drilling. Does that make sense? The president is also now the president of a U.S. car company. When Congress stalled Obama, he just said, I'll just use executive orders to get the job done. I could go on and on and on. But let me just leave you with this one. The NEA, the National Association of Education. They said Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, that's recommended reading. That is the National Education Association. That's for teachers. Who's the radical here? Hint, radical is in the title. I don't know if you know. And you know who this book is dedicated to? I love this. Right here. The first radical known to man who rebelled against the establishment and did it so effectively that he at least won his own kingdom. Lucifer. Recommending rules for radicals for our teachers and our students, and it's dedicated to Lucifer. America, ask yourself, come on, which one are the radicals? Here are the choices. You might agree with these guys. I don't, but you might. But here are the choices. The choices are simple. Are these the radicals or are these the radicals? Which are they? One choice is arguing for individual liberty. I mean, basically, I know better. I know better than the government. They don't know me. They don't know my neighborhood. I'm going to make the choice, and I will take the ramifications. That's it. I'll learn from my mistakes, and I'll be better for it, and my community will be better for it. And if I want to eat bacon butter all day, I'll accept that I'm fat, and I'll pay higher, insurance rates because I have a bigger chance of dropping dead of a heart attack. And we'll be better off for it because we'll better ourselves as individuals. But the other choice is this one. They're making the claim that the people are a claim to Homer Simpson. And I don't want to say it. I'll let an administration official say it.
We think, that is my co-author Thaler and I, that there's a little Homer Simpson in all of us, that sometimes we have self-control problems, sometimes we're impulsive, and that in these circumstances, both private and public institutions, without coercing, can make our lives a lot better.
Once we know that people are human and have some Homer Simpson in them, then there's a lot that can be done to manipulate them.
Note those words. Then there's a lot that can be done to manipulate them. I'm sorry, America. Do you want your government manipulating you? Make a choice. The American people are stupid and capable of making decisions that will ultimately be better for society. Therefore, we have to manipulate them into it. The government needs to hold citizens' hands from cradle to grave. The very latest who holds this worldview in the administration, who says you're just like Homer Simpson, is Elizabeth Warren. Now, Elizabeth Warren seems like a very nice lady. I mean, I met her. It was at the Time 100. She is at the Time 100. She was one of the 100 most influential people on planet Earth. I met her there because I was strangely on that list as well. She gave a great speech. And again, she seems like a very nice, decent lady. It was very moving. She talked about, she grew up as a janitor's daughter. Her grandparents fought to survive the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression. I mean, she has seen it. And now she's going to be working in the brand new Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Another bureau. Great. Once again, however, Congress is irrelevant. Since Obama doesn't care about what procedure he uses, again, a radical departure, he's appointed Warren to an interim position so she didn't have to go through the confirmation process. So you don't know anything about her. Now, I don't care if she's in office accounting. If she's the one there and she's at the top of the food chain, she's making the decisions. She's the boss. But don't worry. It's not like she's going to have wide-ranging powers like writing and enforcing rules for banks and other firms, or conducting examination of banks and seeking information from other firms about consumer-related business, or tracking business complaints. Basically, everything you pay for, she will be tracking. She'll have policing powers over mortgages, credit cards, debit cards, private student loans. They'll have the power to gather, research, and issue recommendations on delinquency trends, default rates, and all other issues impacting consumer spending and debt. Now, here's perhaps the most troubling part if you're not troubled yet. This agency is not dependent on having Congress appropriate an annual budget for its operating expenses. No, no, no. It's outside of the system. The operating expenses are coming out of the Federal Reserve System. Let me say that again. In fact, can we do something with the lights, or we need some music or something? Let me just say that again, because I think you didn't really get that. This agency has all of its funding coming from the Federal Reserve System.